Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Nez Porter down here at the Evelyn Moakley Bridge. You guys probably heard of it. A light pole had fell maybe around Tuesday and injured a woman pretty seriously on this bridge due to the negligence of the city of Boston. And I just want to show you what they're doing over here. So what I understand, they took down 23 of these defective light poles, and city of Boston been now trying to play catch up, doing something they should have been doing years ago. See what they got going on over here. As you see, the sidewalk is closed, so see what they have as far as deterioration in condition of these poles. As you can see, the concrete should not be touching the pole. One thing, that's a no-no right there. Now, when the concrete touches the pole, the water from the metal, or I should say from the concrete, is absorbed into the metal. So that's definitely should never been done that way. That's a poor design. Any engineer or anybody with common sense would know that you don't put concrete around the metal. Why would you do that? Why would you do something like that? That's not even common sense. That acts like a wick, and you know, any masonry product does absorb water. That's a known fact. It will retain water as well. Let's see what else they have over here. As you can see, they're trying to play catch up, something they should have done. You know, even the asphalt needs to be. I'm documenting what I see, my man. That's okay. I'm safe. I mean, you travel across the street. You wasn't saying that when that pole fell on that woman, though. So now you're complaining about people being safe. Man, come on. Stop with the silliness. So I just want to show you guys what's going on out here. Now, all these poles are not safe because every single one of these poles have concrete around it. That's not safe. So those pedestrians can walk over there, but I can't. This pedestrian's right there. So I don't know this pedestrian's there. That's why I document what I see. If that was the situation, then those people can't walk over there either. But look at this. Now you tell me, why is concrete around the metal base of a pole? Why is that? Who's the idiot that thought that was safe to do? Like, I'm not no structural engineer, but I know I would never put concrete around a pole. All it does is, every time it rains, water from the concrete is being absorbed through the metal. Of course that's gonna rot out. Of course. Like, what do you think was gonna happen? All these poles are unsafe at this point. Who does that? You cover up the nuts and bolts and put concrete around it? That's nearly criminal right there, doing something like that. That's like hanging a baby over a balcony. Yeah, I don't know about these people, man. Look at some non-thinking people in the city of Boston. Any engineer would have said that's not safe. That's why when you build decks and pools and stuff like that with wood, you can't stick the wood straight into the ground. You're not supposed to anyway. They're going to be putting up some temporary lighting. Wow. All those poles are unsafe. Look at all the ones they took down. Not the all the ones, not to mention all the ones they have to take down over there. So some engineer done cost the city of Boston quite a few $1 million. Maybe even more than that. Now somebody had to design this. I'm pretty sure they didn't do this all by themselves. Some engineer needs to be fired and be held accountable for this, because I know that you don't put no metal and concrete like that. If anything, you want to keep them separate. You never put them completely around like that, for sure. You just, I mean, it's always a weak spot like that. That's why you gotta go around and document what you see. Those are the temporary lights they had up there for the time being, so they can fix these lights right here. And the whole thing is about transparency and accountability. And those words are very, very key in a lot of situations. Transparency and accountability. Now we got to go find out who was the engineer of this this bridge here, and who approved this, because somebody had to approve this as well. Just because you design something doesn't mean it's okay. So some building inspector, City of Boston, somebody in the City of Boston okayed this. Somebody okayed this. They just didn't decide to do this all by themselves. And even if they did, somebody would say this is not right. Look at this. That's not even close to. Oh wow, that's horrible. Now, I've done a lot of work in my life. Now, I never would think that someone, and I seen a few of these around where they bury the boxes in the ground and all that kind of silliness, but basically what's happening, while that's covered up with concrete, you can't see it on the outside, but the base is slowly rotting and deteriorating, because it's like a little wick. It sucks the water right through the concrete. And I don't know if you guys know it or not, brick and concrete is very porous. It does suck up a lot of water. Even if it's on the ground, it will suck it up. I didn't want to come over here, but somebody told me that Mayor Wu had some kind of smart remark on the news. I haven't seen it yet, but I got to check it out to see how smart it really was. They found it kind of disgraceful, and the person that told me this not even from Boston, but that's a shame that our mayor is very inconsiderate to people when they get injured due to the negligence of the city that she's supposed to represent. I think they need to take them all down at this point. After seeing what I see just over here, I think they need to take them all down. Have you heard about what happened over here? Have you heard about what happened over here?
No.
Oh, I guess a pole fell down and hit a woman. So the reason why they're taking all these poles down, because now who puts a concrete around a metal base and cover up the screws?
Yeah, well, it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about, trust me.
I don't. How old do you think these things were?
I would say at least maybe 30, maybe 30, maybe it could be longer.
Yeah, so they probably should have been replaced. It's like a bridge, it's a long time.
Yeah, well, the concrete is going to kind of wick up the water to the metal.
Yeah.
And then now it's going to make the metal deteriorate.
Yeah, so over time, it takes
That's
time
common
to get
sense.
there.
Like any construction or any engineer will know that. Um, if you look at the bases, the bolts are underneath the concrete.
Yeah.
So there was no way to access that if you had to anyway. So if you had to service it, you got to chip up the concrete to get to it.
So it's unfortunately.
Somebody get hurt.
It takes that. Same thing. The bridges. A little piece of bridge will come down. On
Yeah, the bridges. Yeah.
That's a big ticket item. This is going to be cheap for them, but.
Well, they're gonna change all these poles now.
Yeah. You have to.
They're gonna change every single one of them. Yeah.
Someone else can own the city.
Oh yeah. This is gonna cost. Take care, buddy.
Good talking to you.
All right.
I was wondering it.
Yeah, but I figure I let people know because.
My mind, I was thinking,
Well,
is this a project or is something happening?
You see it down there. As you go further down, you see what's going on. Take care, buddy. Gotta get the other side now too. Now that I'm down here, this is one of the big ticket items that the city of Boston neglects to do, or fails to do. Or I should say, they refuse to do. I should say, the city of Boston refuses to do certain things if it's not in their best interest. I always say. So if it's not involving getting a big investor involved in buying that property, then the city of Boston puts it on the back burner, pretty much. But now that it's gonna be like headline news. Come on, who does that? That's just. I think some people need to get fired. You know what I mean? They need to do a full investigation on this stuff because this is stuff that goes on all the time, though. Who's the engineer? Who is the engineer that designed this? Better yet, who approved it? Who approved this? I don't know. I never seen like that before in my life. And this, like I said, somebody told me this is criminal. This is not something. Now you expect somebody with no education do something like this. You expect somebody that doesn't have any knowledge of how things work. But from the professional industry, that's unacceptable. That's very, very unacceptable. I think at this point, all these poles got to come down. Doesn't matter if they're structural sound or not. All that got to be taken down and redone over. I mean, half the lights don't even work anyway. Half the lights don't even work. Over there, you can notice all the poles are down except for one. Take that one down too. Why not, right? Take them all down. At this point, you know, what you got to lose? And from what I understand, there were at least two, maybe more, 311 calls made about these deteriorating poles. You have to go through all the records. That's why I go around the city and document what I do. But more people need to start doing it. How does now? Did somebody ask the other question? And maybe we got to ask that question too. Ask that question. What does the city of Boston Inspectional Services do? And what does the Boston Public Works Department do? Because it is clear, quite evident, that they're not doing their jobs. Yeah, it's not even safe at all. Exposed wires to the elements. Like, wow. Interesting. This is probably where one of them fell down.
What does the guy do? He calls me up and says, this after I've been moving all the stairs.
See all the scrape marks and everything. And this stuff like this is sad. Very, very sad. Yeah, at this point, all these are not safe. I mean, I don't care what they say they found and didn't find. All these are not safe because they shouldn't be covered up with concrete like that. Who would even put a concrete base around it like that? Yeah, that's wow. I could probably find some 10-year-olds. Matter of fact, I know I can find some 10-year-olds that know not to do that. I can find some 10-year-olds that know not to do that. Now, hypothetically speaking, if I had to service this pole, which I mean remove it and replace it or whatever I had to do, I would have to chisel and dig around concrete to get to the bolts. And I was talking to somebody about, I was talking to one of my subscribers not too long ago about the videos that I do. And they told me to keep doing what you do because you're getting information out there and you're showing more detail than what other people are showing. So I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing. And maybe I might start enhancing it a little bit more because I have gotten some better ideas thanks to my viewers and the tips that they give me. And I've been meeting people on a regular basis that have quite the knowledge. And I don't know everything, but I learn a lot every day. All these at this point, all these poles are unsafe. That's where the barking crab is over there. If you're not too sure where the barking crab is, I want to say that pole that on this side was the one that fell down. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know which, and they're not going to tell you, but I think that pole is the one that fell down over there with all the stuff on the ground. I could be wrong. All right, guys, that's what we have. I'll do another walk down the other side just to give you one more look at that. But all these are not safe. Look at this. Yeah, that's just horrible that the city of Boston allows things like this to take place. There's no oversight. There's no accountability. I mean, they rather build up the seaport area. One day I'll do a video in the seaport area. They built it up. They built it up a lot down there. A lot of fancy restaurants, a lot of fancy sidewalks and whatnot. So you guys kind of get the idea of what took place and why some people are upset, because this could have happened to anyone. Another walk back over on this side here. Now, they got the sidewalk closed on that side, but they don't have it closed on the other side. Or maybe it is closed on the other side. I just probably didn't see it. So these are the guys that's doing the work, the contractors, as you can see. The city of Boston is not capable of doing that kind of capable of doing that kind of work. Well, they have the manpower, but at this point, would you trust them to do the work the right way? You guys hire an outside contractor. East Boston. They're out of East Boston. Now this is supposed to be temporary lighting. So if this is temporary lighting, then what's going to be the permanent lighting? And who does that though? I still can't figure this out. So they put some epoxy in there, and they're doing it, the best they can. Got the stainless steel rods, which is appropriate. Epoxy to keep it in strength-wise. Now you got to get the electricity to it. Well, that's probably easy. Just run some conduit on the side and tap into the base of it. Or they could daisy chain it from the top, even though that's not the best way of doing it. But They could do either or at this point. At this point, they just want to get lighting up there. They don't really care about nothing else. You see all the poles that they have that they're gonna be installing too. So they're gonna be out here. Somebody just gave them guys some good work for the next, at least the next couple of weeks anyway, because you got several poles that need to be installed. Yeah, that'll take the better of the whole weekend and maybe halfway into the week to get most of the stuff the right way. Because you gotta drill all the holes, you gotta epoxy them, install the poles, run the wiring. You know, that's not easy work. You know, it's labor intense. And the funny thing about it, I happened to come by here, and I really didn't know the whole story about what took place. And then I was speaking to one of my co-workers that I was working with last night, and he kind of broke it down to me what took place, and you know where the location was and everything. So I said, okay, let me just check it out, show my viewers what's going on. Hey, what's happening, man? They done created work for you guys, man. Somebody not know what they're doing. Like, who puts concrete around a metal base? It's gonna act like a wick and suck up the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, and I'm not an engineer. I know you know that too, but everybody told them about it, right? They knew. I know they knew. It's just sad that they have to, somebody has to get hurt because of it. Take care, buddy. Well, at least you guys have to work for the next couple of weeks, Take care. He's not gonna comment on that, but I'm not gonna comment on what I saw, what he did. But wow. Now, wow. Now we're not gonna go there. The question was made. Wow. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? And they said apparently some people were not, and I guess that's true. And it's funny that question was brought up. There's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, that I know him, or at least I work with him. He is under the assumption that if, I don't know if it's only, I would say black male, because he's a black person. He's under the assumption that a black person or a black male should have his life figured out at 10 years old. And 10 years old, you're just trying to figure out what your life is going to be about, or just starting to learn. So you don't have nothing figured out at 10 years old. The average person don't really get their life together until their mid-20s, sometimes later than that. But everybody operates differently, so. Somebody done created a lot of work for you guys, man. You got to fix up somebody else's mess. Oh man, and that's my wow. Not gonna say that either. Wow. So somebody in the city of Boston, due to their own stupidity. We have to call it stupidity. Now I'm gonna have to find out who designed this bridge and who was the engineers behind it. Now the other question that was brought to my attention: if this is unsafe, then what else is unsafe? And wow, I might as well put this in here too. I was talking to some engineers. I'm not gonna say who they are or where they work for, and what kind of work I was talking to some engineers that work in the city of Boston. They said a lot of these buildings around us are unsafe. And the reason why they were telling me they're unsafe is the older buildings, and it's how the bricks are fastened to the the metal framing of the building itself. And they put in, I don't get the wrong terminology, but they put in like sheets, and they hold together like these little sections, and there's kind of rods that hold them together to the I-beam or the backer board, or whatever you want to call it. And when they were inspecting some buildings, and it says a common thing, especially in the city of Boston back in the early 80s, where they weren't doing things up the code the correct way. So in the foreseeable future, you may see a lot of buildings that start, having walls that collapse. And if they do happen to be doing so, it's because they were done in a very poor and cheap fashion. He has shown me pictures of some I-beams that don't have all the bolts on them, the hanging rods that are rotting out, and a whole lot of other stuff. And it's, for the better part, it's in the greater downtown Boston area. I'm not going to give out the exact locations, but there's buildings, if you see a structure like this building right here, for example, there's something that's supposed to fasten that brick to the I-beam steel. And the way he told me how it's supposed to work, they come out in like little sections. Even though it looks like one wall, but there's spaces in between the wall that like, see that little space right there? Those are sections of the wall. So it appears to be one section, but it's multiple sections. And you have to really know what you're talking about to really see what it is. But I'm still talking with him, and he's giving me a lot of information, and I'm learning a lot about how buildings are supposed to be put up versus how they are put up. And I just want to tell the inspectors, do the right thing. Start inspecting properly. Stop taking bribes under the table. And they do that, and has been proven. We're not going to say the names, but somebody in ISD, a few people in ISD have been caught taking bribes in the building department. And one day we'll do a video on that. All right, guys, so I'll catch you guys on the next one. That's the fire department clearing out of their quarters over there. Engine 10. That's okay. You got a short video of you. That's okay. Sandpipes are very important. I learned a lot about those things too, and how they work, and when you can use them, when you can't use them, and how to use them. That's why it's very important to mark where your standpipes are. No matter what kind of building you have, if you have them, make the signage readily available. It's very important. All right, guys, I'm gonna head up out of here. I think I did enough already. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And there's Porter.